Hello and good day, everyone. My name is Chris, and I'm TAPA Intelligence System expert.
Good evening to all. Probably after the lunch, I could see a lot of seats are vacant. I don't want asked you all to get up and sit to energize you, but we will go ahead. My name is Chandran. I am former board of director for IATA, basically a mechanical engineer, having an MBA in international business with Amazon almost for 9 years. Prior to that, I was with Emirates Airlines. Presently taking care of the security and loss prevention for Amazon APAC. That's in short. All right, without wasting the time, we'll move on. So challenges in the supply chain industry. When we talk about the challenges in the supply chain industry, we have numerous challenges to list in. But from today morning onwards, we were discussing about counterfeits, smuggling, brand protection, etc. So I'm just concentrating on those lines. Yesterday, our counterpart, board of director from EMEA, Leonie, was mentioning about a challenge about shortage of drivers. This is exactly another shortage we also face in India in precise and few other part of the APEC countries. So there are a lot of challenges which I am not touching in at the moment. We talk about counterfeit and smuggling prohibited products. This is one of the main defect injection if you ask into the supply chain and imprecise into e-commerce. We have prohibited products, counterfeits, then protecting the property rights, intellectual property rights, brand protection. I think we had a detailed discussion in the morning. One which I highlighted here is about active shooter at the facilities, which is another challenge, which mainly we have seen in EMA, but slowly it is started coming in APAC too. The recent few incidents which has been given us a heads up on looking into those challenges also. And the last but not the least, which I want to talk about, increase in cargo, crime, theft, fraud, in facility and in transit. Right? So these are the main challenges which we are concentrating on discussing today. All right. So what is the importance of data-driven insights and analytics? Right. So how the data-driven insights for any business, whether it is an e-commerce or anything, it is very crucial. And the data-driven business helps us in right placement of the inventory, right placement of the resource utilization, and mitigating the risk, getting the early warning signal from the geographies where what need to be done, what kind of the infrastructure you need. And when we talk about, and that all usually we get it, any threat or any approach for a business, it is always right to move ahead with a risk assessment. And if you do a risk assessment, understand the trend identification. And that is what will help you to build a sustainable business. And when we talk about the risk assessment, there are two types of risk: residual risk and inherent risk. So that is what we usually concentrate before getting into finalizing a facility at a place. We look at what are the inherent risk of that area, right? And this is where I find the importance of TAPA's new standard of risk assessment standard. Utilize those standards, make it as a guideline, use those platforms, find the residual inherent risk of areas, start working on what kind of the facilities you need, what are the security controls you need, what are the mitigation mechanism you need, and then move on. While your business continues, you will keep getting the residual risk after the inherent risk. The residual risk, where it is a regular interval risk assessment is required, and start mitigating it. Analyze data and gain insights. Everybody know, if you ask me, data insights even helps to skyrocket our revenue. If you ask for an e-commerce, we know the behavior of the customers, potential customers. What inventory I need to have in my warehouse at Pudong is based on the data which I get from the behavior of the customers, right? At the same way, we also get the data to proactively act and mitigate the risk based on what are the crime theft happened, which corridor, what kind of the people, there's one example I can give you. Uh, in Amazon website, when you go and see, there are certain places you find cash on delivery is not enabled for a product. In certain zip code or a postal code, you find it's available, same product. Certain zip code or a postal code, you will find it is not available. Before COVID, it was very prudent. We have find lot of fake currency was coming in the CODs from certain zip codes. So those data we analyzed, and what we have done, we suppressed all the COD shipment delivery to those places, only prepaid. So that is the way we get a proactive data analyze and taking the mitigation measures, right? So in a security and loss prevention, what we do, we have a mechanism that is three: proactive, interventional, and reactive. All the investigation what we do, it is a reactive or a responsive mechanism. That is not a loss prevention. That become a loss makeup. So the loss prevention from an investigation will turn based on the modus of operandi, and you understand what are the measures required to prevent the recurring of this incident. That becomes proactive. And proactive mainly happens by providing the audits and understand what is the process gap, what is the process non-compliance. Not taking much time, moving on.
Thank you, Chandran. So for the so for the data analytics in brand protection, so companies are at risk of always being targeted by organized crime groups. And it's essential to have proper risk mitigation and assessments in identifying these high risk areas and also the trends that are being committed by these felonies. So the historical data that we have shows us an insight on what are the most used modus operandis of these individuals. An example of a modus operandi being used, we captured this one, is a deception crime, which a person is impersonating a buyer to intercept a shipment being delivered. And then another one is a person impersonating a police officer to hijack a delivery that's being committed on the en route. So this is where the accuracy of data comes in. So the more informed we are and the more accurate our data is, we're able to track down these stolen goods or probably recover them if can. And then as such, we have what we did to have a solution to this is that TAPA has developed a system that unifies the collaboration of the sharing of this information from law enforcement agencies and also to the supply chain experts. And this is what we call TIS. So TIS is a database, a unified database that we can all access from supply chain experts to local law enforcement agencies. Um, so what is this? This provides us with accessible data intelligence. So this is a global database from all parts, region of the world that we can get all of the cargo crime information that's being reported and being submitted by experts like us and also from local government bodies as well. And then the risk mitigation platform that we can use here is this by using the route planning tool, which this has the feature. I'll be showing it in a few moments. This route planning feature allows us to use the data that we have on the database to suggest a route that can be done on in-transit deliveries to avoid these cargo crime hotspots. So I'll show you the video here so that you can see it on yourself.
Not a big video, you will not be able to take a map.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris and today I'll show you how to navigate this according to your preferences. So right here, we can log into our this account and then once logged in, we can select the filter data, which is here or here. And then once we arrive at the destination, we can click on the separate categories, which are the date. We can write it here, set our example for January 1 until the present date. And then we can go ahead and click on the categories, which are incident category, modus operandi, location type, country, region, and product category. For the purpose of this video, we'll be focusing on brand protection, which is our theme for today. So we can go ahead and click on to the incident category, which is clandestine and fraud. For the database of our TAPA incident, we upload smuggling and counterfeit incidents under clandestine, and then fraud for similar cases that are based on smuggling as well. Then we can click on the region, which is APAC, and then we click Apply Filter. And once it has been completed, you'll be notified here. The incident filters has successfully been updated. Then we can click onto the Data Explorer. On the Data Explorer, it will now show you everything that are related to counterfeit and smuggling, and also based on the APAC region. When we click on an incident, it will show us with more information that is related to that incident, and also the source where it came from. And then we can go ahead and see an example for the map and routing. So right here, we already preloaded the map, and then we can zoom further in. As you can see here, we'll be able to see a lot, which is the incidents, the FSR locations, and TSR locations. You can tick them off if you don't need those, and you can also leave them on. And then on the route planning tool, we can go ahead and write it in. So let's set an example for, let's say we're coming from Haryana, and then we're going to Bihar, and then click search. The system will generate a suggested route with a detailed overview, and there's also an outlook perspective of the map. As you can see here, that is the overview here. There's the line, and then when we zoom in, the suggested route will steer away from cargo crime hotspots until the destination. So that's how you use the map and routing feature of this. Also, you can click on the FSR locations and PSR locations to see where they are available. Thank you. Thank you. And then for the other features of this, so I'd just like to note that the database of this can go as far as the year 2000 based on what data you are needing. And we have a total of 200,000 global incidents already uploaded in the database. For the Asia Pacific, we have about 2,700 live incidents that we are currently reviewing as well, and also growing. Now, for the other features that we provide for this, we have the TIS Statistical Monthly Report. So this report, we collate all of the information that we have for each month, and also the crime that we are able to find, and then put it in a simple format that we are distributing to members so that everyone is informed on these specific incidents. We don't take also we take the privacy of these information very seriously, so we don't take any names or reporting figures or also the victims of those incidents. And then we just show our data based on the top categories that are being used. So top modus operandi, top categories, and also top product targets. And then for these special reports, these are reports that we provide on a quarterly basis, which is the accumulation of all of the incidents that we have captured for each quarter, and also in the insights and trends that we have managed to understand, as well as the annual report. So we generate one every year. It's a summary of all of the incidents and understandings that we have gotten about the cargo crime data for the year. And then the resilient route planning tool, which is the one we just saw earlier. And then the data on cargo crime, which has all of the information from as year as 2000. And also the FSR and TSR locations, which can be accessed throughout globally as well. And we can download now the certifications of those members. And then the last one is the incident data insights, which is the cargo crime monitor of this. This is a report that can be generated by a user, using on your preference. So it depends on the way you are using the platform. So it can be by country or by region or any specific date. It will generate you a report that you can use.
All right. So what are we looking at the moment? We are looking at people, those who are sitting here, precisely our TAPA partners, to connect with Chris, join in the work group, start giving the inputs, what we can get as a TAS intelligence, which can be uploaded in the tool. When we talk about TAS, it is like, how many of you do your annual medical health checkup? Quickly, because the time up placard is already flown now. Very few, you don't do annual medical health checkup, right? Why do we do that? To ensure what are the hotspots in our body and to take the preventive measures. That's what we do it here. Give us those inputs. Let us understand what are the hotspots you have in your business, right? Do a proactive approach there. If you find your route is risky, find out a route, other one. Route optimization, right placement of the inventory management, cost reduction, resource optimization. These are all the benefits of TAS which we use in Amazon, right? And it boosts your revenue directly. So by using this, you are giving money over the table to the business. Right. That's all. Next. Quickly, there are a few, as I was talking about the in-facility and in-transit theft. One modus of operandi, I just want to give it here. It was, I don't want to name which company it's happened. It was a huge fraud. A virtual return customer order was processed. The site was almost closed, but what happened is the login ID of the individuals was not deactivated. So somebody came to know and they hacked those login IDs and they virtually processed the delivered product of a customer as customer returns. And the refund has been taken. And when it has gone huge in around 1,100,000 USDs, then the business came to know from where it is going, why. By the time they start reacting it was almost bleeded out, right? So how can we stop this? We can stop this by giving a proactive. Now, if this intelligence report I am giving to TAPA TAS tool, TAPA TAS proactively announce it, my other partners will take care that it can happen to me. So what I should do proactively, the soon I don't use the login ID, deactivate it. And that was the flows happened. That is why I just brought it here. Right? Quickly on the next one is about the in-transit theft. As solid truck secure solution was there, GPS tracking was there, but we found the huge amount of mobile phones was stolen in 24 hours of transportation by surface. What the modus of operandi people has done, they have not touched the lock at all. They cut the cabin from the top. They found out a hot spot where GPS not working. You know, when it is surface transport, you find a lot of black spots where internet connectivity is not there. So the organized crime people were well aware which is the place. They called their gang, cut on top and took out everything. So there is no GPS alert happens and there is no TSS lock alert happened. Right? So this information gave us to think further on the technology and develop another seal which will also give when there is a sound, the alert goes. When there is a temperature difference, the alert goes. In a cargo cabin, when there is a human presence, the alert goes. Right? So we modified the truck secure solution log. And further, it prevented such activities going forward. So that is where the importance of the TIS, and when you give those intelligence report, all other partners, they will be benefited to take the proactive measures to ensure that such losses are not happening. That's all from me. Thank you.
And also just like to mention that every TAPA membership has a complimentary TIS account. If you want to activate your TIS account, please reach out to me at tis@tapaapac.org. And once again, my name is Jason, and thank you for hearing us.
Thank you.